Why is it that we live in a society where people hate us, even when they say they like us, even when they say they love us? I grew up in Durham, North Carolina. My dad had been a farmer until the 50s, tobacco farming, and we were all very much aware of our economic position in our society. There were tenant farmers. That life is something that I think the people who experience it remember it forever. They know the history of it, and it gives them a certain view of the society that they live in. I became aware that I had to deal with the issues of racism in our society. I objected to the separate water fountains, the riding in the back of the bus. I objected to the intense racism that we had to face when we went into the town, coming from the country. I objected to having to get off the sidewalk when white people needed to use it. I objected to walking into neighborhoods when the dogs of white folks chased us. Becoming involved in the civil rights movement was something that was absolutely necessary in order for me to have any sense of dignity for myself. Everybody that I know that has participated in trying to make political change, social change, economic change in their society are better off as individuals. They're healthier. You can't deal with the trauma of racism, of white supremacy, of suppression, oppression in this manner without fighting back and demonstrating your own sense of worth. I started San Francisco State after I came out here in '65. That was a place where the world began to open up to me, that there was something new about to happen. And I felt it. I felt it in my bones. I felt it in my psyche that we were going to make a new world. That movement at San Francisco State, when I was there, started around the issues of open admissions, of curricula that was being developed. So we wanted to see more Black students. We also wanted to see the fees made accessible for poor working people, particularly Black students and people of color. So there began the 30-year movement. San Francisco Police Department and San Francisco State used every law enforcement agency that was possible, because we had a large student body that was participating in the movement, to come out and break the strike. So they attacked us. They attacked us viciously when we had rallies. They attacked us to try and stop us from organizing. I think that one of the things we need is the culture of struggle for change. I think that every possible advancement that we've faced in human society has been as a result of struggle and organizing to make things better, to make changes, not being complacent, not allowing things to stay the same, particularly confronting the problems. And I like the fact that my children and my grandchildren have sort of accepted that as part of their lifestyle. Becomes part of the culture of our family to that extent. So that was true for my daughters. It's true for my sons, who have been activists. My son, the filmmaker, my son, the rapper, the organizer, the community organizer. I know as Raymond Riley, but other people know him as Boots Riley, has played an important role in developing ideas and supporting people with ideas for making change. My grandson, Akil Riley, son of my youngest son, says that after coming back home from Howard University, his first year at Howard University, and after the murder of George Floyd, he said, to me that I had to do something. So he called his friends. He didn't know what the outcome was going to be, but he said he had to be part of doing something to express his indignation at what had happened. And in doing that, he found that many other people were prepared to also take part in a demonstration to express their indignation, their anger, at that horrific murder of George Floyd, and how that is connected to everybody else. And we've always been dealing with this issue of, do we matter? Do we matter to the greater society? Do we matter to the dominant society? Do we matter to humanity? When those words came together, And such a powerful moment, those few years ago, Black Lives Matter. It encapsulated the entire movement in that way. Combating white supremacy, combating all other kinds of patriarchy. We matter. Black Lives Matter. And we say it to ourselves and we begin to feel it and know it, and it has so much meaning to us. That's how it felt to me. That's how it grabbed me. It grabbed me in that way, that I wasn't begging for anything. I'm just saying, Black Lives Matter. I articulate it to myself, and it actually becomes meaningful to me because words help us to understand ourselves, help us to develop our senses, help us to develop our own philosophical ideas, help us to develop the brain, the physiology that makes it possible for us to feel stronger. Black Lives Matter was that to me. And it rang true for the rest of the world.